Well.
Morning.
Oh, morning.
Good morning.
How are you? All right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You okay?
Yes. Hang on. Sorting this out. That's it. Right. Oh,
Glad it's a bit cooler today.
oh God. My lounge is 24 degrees already.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, it's really hot.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot cooler today.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
I thought it was going up to about 27 again, wasn't it?
Oh, it probably will. Yeah. Yeah. Morning, Dave.
Yeah, morning. Can't hear you.
No.
Oh.
Oh, well, we're talking to each other.
Yeah. Can't hear you. Do sign language.
Yeah. Hello,
Oh,
Dave.
every week something happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wonder why.
Oh dear. I did my painting this week. It was a disaster. I just hadn't got my heart in it this week.
I was
think
like
so.
that. Yeah, I've just done a small one, but it's yeah, it turned out okay, but it wasn't really my cup of tea.
No.
My microphone's was gone wonky, isn't it?
Oh, hello,
Oh,
you're here.
hello, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
might-
me and Carol have been chatting about you behind your back.
I said you can hear
you.
us.
I can hear you guys. Don't worry.
I
Bought a new,
can't say anything detrimental then.
if I could, I'm just trying it again. I bought a new.
What's happened to Pauline? She's trying to get on.
I can hear you. I can't.
Oh, right, we can't see you.
Oh, no.
Oh, there you
go.
are.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya.
All right.
Yes,
Hello.
thanks. Yeah.
Oh, have you been down the beach? Your face looks a bit brown.
I only went down yesterday, but I was sat in the shade for most of the
One,
time because
two,
it's so
three.
hot.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Hey, you can hear me now.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you now.
Yeah,
Did-
but am I
did you
using the
not-
right microphone? Hang on. Microphone, headphone, microphone. I can't get the headphone one.
While you're doing that, ladies especially, do
Yeah.
you have you taken any curtains to be dry cleaned in recent times?
No. Why?
No, I haven't. Well, no, I was given a pair of curtains and I altered them to fit my windows, and I dropped them off at the dry cleaners and
They've shrunk.
rang. No, they said, oh, well, the person, the office isn't open today. Anyway, they said, we'll ring you back and give you a price.
Headset worked.
So how much do you think for a standard pair of lined
Ooh.
lounge curtain?
About 50, 60 pounds or more
It
or
was.
less.
It was £56. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Curtains dry cleaned. I could go out and buy the material and make them for less than that.
Yeah.
Did you
You
buy 'em?
will, yeah, you could buy a new pair, couldn't you, for that,
Yeah.
nearly?
Yeah.
So you didn't get them clean then?
No, I said I'm going to pick them up.
Yeah.
No.
Can't you try and
Yeah.
wash them yourself? Sometimes
Well-
if you do them on a cool wash, a lot of them
Yeah.
say, oh, don't wash
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're
Are-
all right.
Are they
aren't
long? Can you afford for them to shrink a bit?
Sorry.
Can you afford for them to shrink a bit if you wash them?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, seeing as they were given to me, you
Why
know,
try washing them?
You're not going to
don't-
lose anything then, are you, by
No.
washing?
no, but £56. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
I asked her twice. I said, sorry, could you repeat that? Did you say 5? I said, yeah, she said £56.70.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
Crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I don't know. I thought it might be about 2025.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
haven't, because I've always made my own curtains and soft furnishing stuff, and I've always used sort of either washable or stuff that I can.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I definitely try and wash them and see, you know.
yeah, I said,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
won't
what
be
do you
lost
want to
then.
do? I said, I'll come and pick them up. I said, don't do it.
Just do them on a delicate wash or something and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
Were they lounge curtains then?
Yes.
Well, they're quite large, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I'd say I would have said 56 quid sounds about right, to be quite honest.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm obviously way out. I can't remember ever going to the dry cleaners, not for donkey's years.
I
Don't you
haven't
think
been
we
to
get out
donkey's years.
of what everything costs, don't we? And
Yeah,
then you
you
get
do.
older, you
Yeah.
really think,
Yeah.
God, you
And
think
the-
back to what it used to cost.
That's right. And clothes nowadays are mostly you can wash them anyway.
Wash
can't you?
Yeah.
The old
Well,
days.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's just me being totally out of touch then.
Never mind.
Well, I always thought you could take them down the laundrette and get them to do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they've got the
We
big
tried that.
machines.
Yeah, that's
Proper
right. Like
machines.
take your duvet.
Yeah.
Like
We've
take
got a
your
nice
duvet
laundry,
down.
down here at Ashley Cross by the side of the park. Where
Oh, I
Mark-
know.
You know
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Mark Bennett's is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Or this one just up the road in Wallerstein. So I can.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah, I tried that.
you see
Yeah.
what
Somebody
got-
does it for you.
that
What have you
reflects my new badge.
Oh, what's
Oh.
that?
What is that for?
It's very subtle, but it says, "I'm here if you'd like to talk."
Oh, we can't read it.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of help to us.
Looks like a blob of toothpaste on your sock.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm coming over that way later.
Okay. I'm only saying that because I brush my teeth and I get it all down the front of me. I don't know what I do these days. And so does Peter. Mind, you're not as old as us yet. You'll get to it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
The worst one is when you get last thing at night or whatever, you think, "Oh, just clean my teeth." You get there and push the button, and the bloody thing don't work.
Oh yeah, you've got to go and charge it up.
No time. And then I did it. It happened to me I only mentioned because it happened to me a couple of days ago, and I thought, "Oh God." I've still got an ordinary brush as well.
Is it quite old? Because mine was old, so I've got another one. So I've always got one on charge now.
No,
I've
only got the
bought
one.
a new one this year as well because mine.
Oh, well, keep your old one and you can keep it on charge.
I thought, I'll do it overnight and it'll be raring to go in the morning. So did it like that, flicked the switch, and then in the morning, same thing happened. I flicked the wrong bloody switch, didn't I?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear, a nightmare.
Anne and Gordon still away, are they?
Yeah, they're coming back tomorrow. They're sailing back tomorrow.
They've had lovely weather, haven't they? God.
Yeah.
Oh,
About Joyce, where's Joyce today?
She's
Busy doing.
I don't know if she's exhausted or up to something, but she did say to me that she couldn't make it today, but she'd had a exhausting Zoom conference meeting yesterday, so I think she's maybe zoomed out. Yes, zoomed out right out. Don't know, that's really funny. Here's a funny one. Mel was here. I'm going to turn my speaker off. You get an echo. Mel was here earlier, and she said something. She said, "Oh, there was a little pile of a couple of t-shirts and some socks." She said, "Oh," she went to grab them, take them down. I said, no, don't do that. I'll take them down. I'm going down and get a cuppa anyway. She said, "Oh, no." I said, "Look, if I fall down the stairs and hurt myself, we still eat and the washing gets done." If you fall down the stairs, we're in deep D-Day.
And you're still alive.
She laughed. She thought it was not often you get a reasonable laugh at Mel, but she chuckled. That tickled her. That did.
I bet she could imagine you in the kitchen trying to cook.
Yeah.
But at least I was honest. And it is a fact, and they are steep stairs, and she's sort of disabled, and it's early morning, and you think, hang on, last thing you want is I have to protect my interests, don't I?
Absolutely. Of course you do.
And hers as well, because I expect the thought of me cooking food for her put her right off. I've got an eclectic taste, like, I'll have a tuna sandwich for main course.
We've been eating sandwiches. I can't bear to put my oven on because it's all open plan, so it just gets hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
The irony of that, I walk through the kitchen out into the conservatory to go in the garden, and all this week, as I'm walking past the cooker, I keep thinking it's on.
Yeah.
Even when it's off, it's exuding heat.
Yeah. They don't cool down very quickly, do they?
No, Mel's just bought, or I don't think it's come yet, but she's ordered a big steel cooking plate that you put in.
All right.
It's so that because it gets hotter, doesn't it? If you're doing pizzas or cooking bread, it's a steel that you put it on, and it really gets the oven hotter than hot. You can't be doing with soggy bottoms.
Oh no.
Bless me.
Oh God.
I haven't. Terry's not coming either, is he? By the looks of
Oh.
it, I haven't heard from him today. I'm really nervous about today. I don't know why.
Oh.
Maybe I'm going through some sort of funny stage. Or okay, no comment. A funnier stage. I did find a color picture that the black and white. Where's it gone? Hang on. The black and white variant. I don't like doing that. Where are you? Cassius Marcellus Clay.
Oh, is that his middle name?
Yeah, Marcellus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't. No.
Nor did I till I looked up. I think it was about 5 o'clock this morning. I was thinking, I wonder what colour I, because I'm determined to introduce some colour into this. And I was thinking, what colour? But being black and white picture, what colour eyes has he got? And they are black. It's got coal, but I'm not sure how I'm going to approach that. So there's a bigger one there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't got to do the gloves.
No, I'm just doing. I'm only attaching that image
For the colour.
so that I get some idea of the colours. Not that it's that mission critical, but yeah, it was a hard one to call, really, because you're sort of thinking, how do you approach it? I was talking to Anne earlier on the messenger, and I said I'm just going to go with the flow. We'll see what happens. But I do find doing these portraits, or I found a lot, is after I've done obviously the candidate, the subject, I tend to use masking fluid and mask the figure out and attack the background. I don't like it. You can do it pretty good with the mop and get a nice feel and all the rest of it, but I like it more, I don't know, traditional, solid, bit like Pauline's back door, doors in the background, really solid texture, make it stand out. So I tend to do that. I don't know how long today's going to last. I said to Joyce earlier that I'd because I'm facing north here, so the good thing about that is that the sun doesn't come around till this afternoon, and then it's like, shut the windows, get the heck out of here. Well, shut the curtains, I mean, because it does make a big difference, that, doesn't it? So I'm still drinking slurping tea.
I've keep my windows shut all day, and I open them when the sun goes down, and leave them open all night, and then close them again. It keeps the cool air in.
What I have found.
I'm all right with my house because I don't get any sun in here until perhaps the kitchen window, sort of in the evening. So when I came back off the beach yesterday, I was really hot, but I walked into my house and it felt cold.
Oh, that's good.
So, but it's not so good in the winter time.
No, my front is south facing, so the lounge and the bedroom get really hot. But anyway.
And I did a sketch. I find it. I just rub out the tram lines. The grid helps a lot, doesn't it? You can get a really good sketch using the grid.
Yeah.
Well, I find it. So, and using these putty, I don't know what sort of putty rubber it is. I've said before, but it don't have cut it. But it don't. the pencil lines are only, they're guidelines, aren't they? Because you can't, as soon as you put paint over it, it all disappears anyway.
That's with acrylic.
Yeah, there's a way out of that. Well, there's several ideas I got on that, Chris. The first one is you can use charcoal. Yeah.
Oh,
So
what, instead of acrylic?
No,
Oh.
on your sketch, when you sketch it out,
All right, yeah.
use charcoal, and you're going to say, yeah, but then when I paint it, the charcoal just melts away, aren't you? Go on, say it.
I would have thought it would. Yes, I've never tried it.
So what you do is you get some hairspray and spray the charcoal. Do your sketch and spray it with hairspray, and that fixes the charcoal.
Oh, okay.
Then you're okay, and then you can paint over it.
And
for us,
still go through.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it will stay for a while, and then you can layer up the paint.
Yeah.
It doesn't blend and disappear and mingle in with the paint so much.
I normally paint the background totally, paint the whole page, and then sort of lightly do the sketch on top of the painted. Once the paint's dry, then sketch on that, and then sort of work from there.
Yeah,
a little bit.
The other way that works is chalk. Perhaps pastel at a push, but if you use chalk, it'll do it. Same, it'll do it for us as well on the watercolor. I haven't actually done it yet using I needed to, but I was thinking about it earlier. And if you use a bit of chalk, or if you've got a chalk pencil, what's the other stuff? Pastel, isn't it? We could use a bit of pastel on it. Interesting. Well,
I was thinking I might actually get my pastels out. I keep saying I'm going to. I might actually try doing this one in pastel, just for a change.
You've got nothing to lose, really, because even if it goes wonky, you can still use paint over the top. You can use the acrylic over the top.
That's a good idea.
So the colours in my palette, I might zoom out a little bit. Hang on. He says going in. That looks a bit better. Because it's quite a large sheet I'm using here. I've got 2 buckets of water. The colours I've got, I'll talk to you about that in a sec. The colours are, I've kept exactly the same as what I've had for weeks now. Raw sienna, burnt umber, don't know what that is. It's a brown. Maybe it's, don't know, but it's brown. So, no, it might be raw sienna. No, sorry, burnt umber, burnt sienna. It's just that it's gone a bit cloudy. Yeah, it's a bit of a lighter version of burnt umber. Yeah, there's burnt umber, yeah? Burnt umber, burnt sienna, raw sienna. That's rose red in your auras, alizarin crimson sort of colour. Light blue, cerulean blue works. There's a dark blue there, bit of ultramarine, cadmium red. That's a neutral tint. I don't know why that's in there. It just seemed like I needed to put something in that spot, so I did. And down here, believe it or not, it doesn't look very, it's a sort of a viridian green. Viridian green, I'm introducing it because it's good for, it's the complementary to red. It's the only reason I use it, or I've taught myself to use it. If you add the green to the red, you'll get, it's being complementary, you'll get a really dark, shadowy skin tone. That's all it is. I think and obviously I've got white gouache in there, and that is supposed to be flesh, but I think some of the raw siennas oozed out into it. So now it's sort of a raw sienna fleshy colour. Like I'm
It's all very well being fleshy colour, but how does that work with black man? I always used to say that. I always used to, well, I still do. I wonder, when you buy flesh coloured plasters, do black people have black ones? I've never seen them. Or have they got a bright pink plaster?
Anyway, my
Oh God.
my initial thing is just because I'm sticking with that theme that I start with. This is just watercolors I'm using. There's no white or anything. I'm sticking with my initial thing that we did back along, saying white paper has no fear. We're not afraid of it. So you've got to get rid of it. Otherwise, you'll sit there all day thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So, yeah, we don't have no standing on ceremony for the white paper. What I might do, I haven't got my. That was my role of Boris Lou. It was just about it rolled away from me. I thought it was just about to go down the crack by the radiator and disappear forever, which it didn't. So I'm all right. Burnt umber is a good colour. Just mix up some burnt umber. I won't. And I think I'm just using that one. I don't know why I'm attracted to the round brush, but the flat one is really handy to mark in any dark. What you're doing initially is looking at your photo and trying to find some shadows, anything that's dark. This is classic oil painting, any painting technique really. But I have noticed that even on looking at the color element image, the tonal values, they're not far away. I can see shadows all around, down around this side and up there and all that I'm going to block in, and there's almost the same on there. So there is a theme, but burnt umber's the one to do it with, and you probably needs a bigger space really, so that you can. All we're doing is trying to create a sort of a color tonal map of what's what. And I said that I checked out what color eyes we have. Ooh, and they were black. But in my image, they're at this moment in time, I'm just looking for dark areas. Trying some sort of tonal. I was watching a guy doing a demo based on portraits the other day, and it got to sort of a bit further off than this stage, and I thought, that's it, stop, that's fine, I like it like that, you know. But if you can quite easily just look at this is just burnt umber. You can make it a little bit damp if you like, and just looking at the black and white image, trying to find, just put in some tones, trying to find I think the word is a tonal map, a tonal just anywhere you see these, using a flat brush as well, you can get use a few, can always add a bit of blue into it to make it even darker. Got to watch it. I've got 2 buckets of water. One's clean and one's the other.
No.
Well, the one that I'm dipping stuff in. I think it's noses are the ones that get us, aren't they? Where does the nose start? Where does the skin or the face bit, you know, it's something you never think of when you're looking at your nose. How's it attached to my face? You don't, do you? You just think, well, it's there, isn't it? Well, the hairs are pretty obviously a dark spot that we can. Well, I'm just going to block it in for now and find some shape. It's one of these pictures, isn't it? You either do it in 10 minutes and go for a cuppa, or no, I think that about. I thought the one with every time I was talking to Chris one week, Chris yesterday, thinking, oh God, and then I'm thinking, do you know what? I said to Anne earlier, I said, I don't know, but I'm getting more nervous every time I do a picture now, because the portraits are such. You don't know where to start, and where, I don't know. When we're doing like the seascapes and things like last week, it's got a pretty standard format, you know, sky, work from the top down. But with these portraits, there's no value start point. It's like you build it up from how I don't know, there's so much of you in a portrait, or the way you're feeling, the way you're obviously got the technical issues like we have with all pictures, but I don't know. Maybe it's because it's new to us. We haven't done that many of them, but I keep going along thinking it could be any young man that at the moment, couldn't it? Yeah, I think, but using a flat brush, you can use the edge of it and get a sort of a finer line. Well, I'm just starting with, sounds a bit racist, but starting with burnt sienna, you're on the right track, aren't you, I suppose? Or burnt umber, because you want it to be dark. I noticed that there's a real dark area in the mouth. There's this where the lip, just under the lip, there's a sort of what's the word? There's that classic lozenge shape. It's something to look out for when you're doing. I've noticed. Well, I've been doing, you know, all these people seem to have this. Worse than watching paint dry. This is.
It's looking good so far.
Yeah.
Well, all we're doing, we don't have any. There is no. What's the word? No defined right and wrong at this stage. It's more a case of looking at the image, and if he was stood there, that's all you could do, isn't it? You'd be looking at him thinking, let's find look at the shadows, any tonal, and then build it up from there, a bit like we did with George. I still haven't published those ones of George, by the way. I'm still thinking about that. It will be done, but
I was very disappointed with mine. I just couldn't get it.
I think that's why I haven't published them at the moment, because I'm not 100% finished on mine. And I'm thinking, well, hang on, we can't beat ourselves up anyway, because we haven't been doing it that long. You know, the portrait journey's not only what, 3 paintings in. So I'm thinking, while I'm doing this, I'm going to be learning. I need some more water on here. Learning a lot of extra information, a lot of extra things that I can then add to the George that I've done up to now. Don't know why I'm drawn to put some. That's too dark, really. I didn't want it to be dark. That's better. Just lift a bit off. That we can do in watercolors. Definitely going to have. It's definitely got to be a shadow under here. You can see what I mean about the finding the darks. The process really is go through your images, your pictures. I think looking at that, and then find just create a tone map. I suppose that's, for want of a better term, didn't mean where his chin is there. That's a bit somewhere I've trying to lift it off and it won't come off. But to compensate for that, we'll have to add a little bit of blue in there, perhaps. Yeah, just get his. There's a candidate already for some white gouache just around here. Just got to pull it all back now. But as I say, the colours just make that a bit. I'm just using water and to sort of tone down. Just be careful with the blue. Put too well. You can always add a bit of raw sienna. That'll lighten the burnt umber and take the blue out of it. I love using the side of my palette. There you go. Try and find some colour. The one thing I did note that people of all colours have the same colour lips. They got which is, I see the old the sportsman bending their knee before games is coming out into prominent again. I don't agree with it. I never have.
No, I think it's totally distracting and unnecessary. Yeah, it's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with the sport.
Yeah, I can understand all the, I'm aware of all the nasty things that go on in America and all the rest of it, and in this country. But when I watch the football match, it sounds really. Well, I don't care. It's observational facts. I watch the English football team, and there are a lot of people, non-white people in the football team, so we can't be that bad a society. Because then when I watch Scotland, Croatia, Poland, all these other countries, the there's no way they're having any ethnic minority. There's no white people who, you know, people of color. So I think, well, I think our society ain't brilliant. We don't go around deliberately shooting people of a different color and what have you. Well, I just think it's, don't know what I think really, but I think, and it's the Pretty Patel, or whatever. I know what's pretty about the bloody woman, but she came out saying she doesn't. She said it before. She calls it was it gesture politics? Well, that's a good term. So I thought, well, now she's put, all the other MPs are going, you stupid woman. Now all the people that are in the crowd that were embarrassed to boo are going to think, oh, it's all right now. Pretty Patel says we can boo. Oh dear. Why didn't just play football? Forget about all that other garbage. It's so distracting from the real doodah. Oh, hey, I'm going to show off here. I did buy some this week. I know, I keep saying I won't. I bought some more. These are St. Petersburg paints. Because I've got this, I've decided this is my portrait palette for the time being, till I get another idea. So these, I thought I could stick them in this one. And one's called June, sort of a fleshy, sandy colour. One is the flesh. What was the other one? Peach, rose, and cadmium yellow. And this one, I was thinking, I must have been thinking of Cassius Clay because it's mocha. Just sort of a coffee colour. So, but I haven't used it. Not yet, because I've got all these colours in. I loaded up with colour, am I? So I thought, let's have a bit of fun then. This painting has to be fun. So I'm just got the mop. It's time for the mop. We love our mop. But what colour? Anybody got a preference on what sort of tonal value we should put in the background?
Blue.
I always put blue.
Line on you for help.
Oh well, this was your opportunity to say da da da. One thing I am going to do, and I might have to squirt some out. Initially, this is in homage to Chris with her acrylics, because she's going to have to do this anyway. Is to and a bit like our sky, I've got a dollop of white on the brush. You see it's gone over there. I'm just going to paint it white first because, well, there is a method and a reasoning behind it. I like
an orangey colour would look quite nice. A dark orangey colour.
The one flipping colour I ain't got, you mean?
Well, you can mix it up. You're clever.
Yeah. You tell me, Carol.
Pardon?
Tell him.
Well, hence the oh, I love you lot. That's the reason that I've painted it white first, because it acts as a base, a foundation in makeup terms, isn't it? For anything else, but that would be quite interesting actually. I've got cadmium, or I don't know what red it is. It's one that Chris gave me in a tube.
Nice colour, isn't it?
So if I add some yellowy, well, it might be useful. It'll come in useful in a minute, because I'm gonna because I'm going to add. Well, I'm a bit loathed at this, so I don't think it's going to work, because Oh, I don't know, because I was thinking in a minute I'm going to use flesh tones in the flesh, but we'll see. But I'm not, am I? It's going to be darker than us pale skins. Not so pale at the moment. Keep going out in that garden, getting fried. It doesn't. I think I'll get bored with this colour. I'm telling. I know that now already.
Yeah, perhaps it's not right.
No, I'm not saying it's not right. I'm just saying I'm getting bored with it. But it has. Yeah, you're right though. It has sort of. If I had a bit more yellow, but what I'm trying to think of is try and. Oh, hang on. Forget one side, but put lighter than the other. It will give us some sort of sense of perspective coming out. Yeah, but we've got yucky paint in the palette, so there's no reason why I can't add some extra colour in what I do find, and I have been. That's why I said earlier on that I find quite often I end up putting masking fluid around the subject and then just concentrating on the background, hence the reason I'm not well, it doesn't matter, but it can help to. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, be radical. I'm going to put some green in it, blend it in, see what happens. I just don't care, do I? These are your curtains, Chris, from the dry cleaners.
Oh,
They are orange.
Oh dear. Well, I'm not going to get fixated by it, but because we're going to add some. Don't like this bit here. I don't know what all this is about. That's a definite yuck. This is some flesh tone here. Don't like that at all. Maybe it's because my brush is too small and it's not. Well, it's going to take a bit of work on that, I'm afraid. Without a doubt. I did say when I did it, I thought you could almost hear me go, dear. But not a lot I can say to that. Except, okay. Have you got a budgie?
No.
Thought I could hear a whistle. Thought I could hear a in the background.
No.
Something. Well,
oh, it's birds. It's probably up my birds and the trees, is it? You can hear?
Yeah, sound really nice.
Yeah, they sing all day. I get you. There they go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I heard it then.
They start about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they little rascals, aren't they? That's a bit pink. So if I try add a bit of green to it. That was your orange, Carol.
Right.
Yellow and red, and then I've just put in a little bit of this cadmium colour. But it was still bright. So I dabbed the brush in the green and that tones it. Do you see that? Clever, isn't it?
Yeah, but when they do makeup on people, they do put green on them if they've got high colour first.
It's true.
But like I said the other day, if you can, get used to. I'm conscious that I want to put in some colour on his mouth. So I'm just going to make some. I'm not worried about the highlights. That we can add that later. The beauty of using the white is, well, I've got this. We can soften down it'll blend. We can blend in. So if I do, I'm just going to keep going with this because we've got loads of the. If I want to make it darker, add a bit more green. Can you imagine somebody saying, "Hey, why are you painting that black man white?" Michael Jackson. Well, it won't be, because in a minute it'll gradually. Do you know what? This is such a. I've drawn him so big that it's not so easy to do it with this size brush. But because I've established where all the darks are, this colour being not solid yet, I can add a bit of white to it, and that'll give us the more opacity. Could almost use the mop brush doing this. Yep. It's got a, at this stage when you're doing it, it's got a feel, what's the word? More of a contemporary feel, hasn't it?
Mm.
But what I will say, people with browner skin ain't as brown as, when you're painting them, it's not as brown as you think. Or, you know, you don't need to go crazy and start putting in loads of, you know, real dark colour. I think that's the beauty of being a watercolour painter is that you can start off quite light and gradually build it up. But I think I'm thinking at the moment it was a good move to put the lips in because you don't want to lose them, and I don't want to lose that area. The only problem I've got is, well, it's not a problem, it's a nice one to have, is that I've got, looking at, well, 2 reference images, which one do I look at any one particular moment to try and pick out? It's got a pop art feel to it, this, at the moment.
Mm.
But I think the main thing to come across is, obviously, besides not being afraid to put some colours on, the main thing is whatever I was thinking of then, but is, I've lost the thread now, but it's not, yeah, I knew it would come back to me. The main thing to come is not to be bogged down with specific colour. Don't worry about the colour, hence the reason the whole starting process of it is, he's got straight hair, is to build up the tones, look for tones and values. So if you're looking at the image, that you could start off with all one colour and just leave areas of the paper where it's light. So if you're looking at it, you can say, right, there's a light patch there, there's light on his nose, there's light there, and paint everything one color, but except where you see lights. You can squint your eyes up and you'll see brighter lights, more light. There's light there, there's light there under his eyes. Yeah, you can paint it all one color apart from those areas, and the subject, it'll appear, which is all I'm doing right now in reverse, because all I'm doing now is I've painted with burnt umber, dark brown, blue, whatever, all the areas that I could see in reverse, all the shadow areas. So looking at this, I painted this burnt umber all round here. Got a bit confused under here, but that's fine. And there, over this side, it's darker, and pick those out, and then add in some darks to it, adding some light areas, and gradually building it up. Looks a bit worried here at the moment.
He's curling his lips up, doesn't he?
Painting them out, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
sure.
I know I've said before about my brother, who's the fairground artist, and he said that painting black people was the hardest. He had a commission a long time ago now to paint a boxing booth, and it had 2 black fighters, boxers.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine that the head of each fighter was probably about 3 foot by 3 foot.
Oh gosh.
That's just the head. And
yeah.
Only using like ordinary gloss paint, like household sort of exterior paint. It was incredible what he could do. Really, I'll try and find some photos out. Yeah, I think he's probably got some on his Facebook. I don't know. But he always said that the to do black skin was the hardest because there were so many colours in it.
Yeah. Well, the bit that I've messed up is this base bit, and the reason is that I put blue in it, so don't do that. Any colour but blue. Okay. I added too much blue. Now all I can do is, or all I'm going to do, is add some white on top and some flesh tone. So as it dries, then it'll gradually sort itself out, or I'll sort it out. I don't want grey, which is what I've ended up with. So all I can do at the moment is block it in with some white, and as the white dries off, then I can add some flesh tone onto it, like I'm doing there, and it'll gradually sort itself out. My seaweed turned up. I ordered some Irish. Hello there, some Irish seaweed fertilizer for my babies out there.
Oh right.
Love doodahs. When I was chatting over the garden wall to the next door neighbour, who's besides being in he was pretty Neanderthal, but now he's a bit older and frail. He's not so intimidating now. So
you always used to have problems with him, didn't you?
Cool. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, he was a bit of, as I say, he's not a very nice person, really. And people used to say to me years ago when we first sort of moved here and we were meeting different people, and they'd say, "Where do you live?" And so and so, "Isn't that where Hammerhead lives?" And I'm going, "Who? Hammerhead? Hammerhead? Yeah, fisherman, innit? Wilson." Oh, yeah. Sorry, wrong colour. Yeah. Had any trouble? I
Oh, he
said,
was well known.
No, it all seemed okay. He said, you will. More than, and after the first time, you think maybe nothing happens, and then as the years went by, it got a bit hairy. You know, it was a bit scary. But obviously, shot my cat. He denies shooting my cat, but he did. It was we had a beautiful ginger Tom, huge bloody thing, not like your Dave's, but it was big.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went out in the garden one day, and there it was, bloody wounded, big. Well, it had passed already by then, but add some green to the dark cut, to the yellow, red. Add some green, and it'll go really dark. He lies. Yeah, it will. It's just that my green is a bit. There you go. Is a bit dried. But if you can have a little play and see. You can always use the side of the palette, and you'll get a really nice tone. These portraits, they develop, don't they, as you're working, and your palette changes and your color changes, and there's an ebb and a flow to it that's quite fascinating. Well, to me, I find it quite amazing how it. I think there's no no right and wrong. It just flows. And beauty of using the white is that it can go one way, flow back. You can lose it, and it can come back. One thing I did like, it seems to be my trademark, is, or I've just one of the things I've been doing a lot, is using green on the eye, introducing a back. I'm just doing it now. Put a bit of green in it. Then when you add the colour, it adds a bit of coolness to the eye later when you add whatever colour you're going to add on, whether it's blue, black, brown. But in the middle, it's always. Ooh, sorry, it's got a zit. In the middle of where the pupil is, underneath, it's nice. Once you put the white on, you get that nice sort of faint greeny tinge to it, which makes a big difference in my mind. But it's always something every Tuesday, isn't it, that goes a bit not so good, that I have to end up going away and fixing. But this is going to take a while. I'll be lucky to get this sorted out. Well, I won't. I know I won't, because it needs to dry, and then I can overpaint it. Unless I can take a shortcut. Hang on, girls. Say that. Well, Terry's now. I can just use the sponge it off. Maybe. But doing that is not going to work. Well, worth a try. Well, I will tissue it as well. So, but we'll have to let it.
You'd say he's got a polar neck on.
Yeah,
No, it'll be fine when it's dried. I'll be able to.
God.
But I don't want to go too mad, because the paper will get a bit upset. This is Arsh's paper, which is really posh paper. You can see that just by doing that, as it dries off in a minute, I'll put a hairdryer on it, it will come back. Find a brush. Well, I don't mess about. Once I decide to stick my foot in it, I'll do it. As I say, you can use your by using the white, we can blend it, we can put in where we think some highlights appear, and just want to lighten up his nose area. Ebb and flow, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible what happens when you're doing this. The ebb and flow of it. Because does look a bit. It's because his eyes are very white, aren't they? Yeah. Very piercing. And there's a real dark element into the inside bit as well. I think I need more. Less, not less, more. I'm going to mix up a darker brown with add a bit of burnt umber and blue, a bit like we normally do for our. Let's try a bit of cerulean blue this time. Make it a bit lighter. The only problem with that is, as I'm seeing on my palette, is there's a tendency to get a bit of a grey tone to it, which I don't really want. Which picture are you looking at, Dave? The nice picture. They're all both nice pictures. The real fun bit of this, well, comes later, tomorrow, the next day, where you're softening down, trying to tease out some details, you know, blending. I showed you last week where on that George one, where you could just spend quite as long as you like. I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't, well, it is the reason, published or, you know, shown the world the ones that were done by George, because there's still elements to soften it down. I'm dabbing the brush up and down here, trying to get some character in the eyebrows. The subtle details, especially using this, using the white, it allows you to lift the colours off. Oh, I quite like this area here. And he just looks like he's got quite nice chubby cheeks. Even though looking back at our original black and white, this is where it's going to evolve, this picture. Our original picture, black and white one, you can sense that there's different different highlights. You know, I was thinking about it so much the last few days, and I was thinking I'm going to end up is a blend of both images, and I knew it was going to happen that way, which it is. That's the way it's going now. Chrissy, you're going to have such good fun doing this. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Looks like you're going for the black and white picture now.
Well, I'm looking at that and thinking it's really just experimenting to see if I can come back, but if I add white to it, but even using just as it is, I can just use the dry brush and scumble it as well and push colours into where I want it to go. But this is softened back. I just wanted to try and, because there's something that I'm not happy about. Our favourite spots on the nose, but I'm just using the brush as just to scumble it in. It's not that, it's just damp, and just trying to push some of the colour around, which you can do. Yeah, come on, Cassius. I think his lips, there's no highlights on them at the moment, so at some point I'm going to have to do that. See if I can get in a bit here. And try and recover some information. What we really want is for it to dry a bit quicker. Yeah, Miss Jones. Well, I don't care. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, and I'm thinking,
it's looking good.
It ain't half bad, and I'm pretty confident.
I like the forehead.
The who?
The forehead.
The forehead. Forehead.
The forehead.
I thought you said I thought you were
forehead.
But if you use the brush with just slightly damp with clean water in, you can see what's happening here. It's smoothing it, smoothing it out, and I'm teasing. It's a totally. If you think I want it to come this way, I can lift it. I'm not worried about it. This side is darker. I don't mind. I'm quite happy with that. I can add some tone here and there. Come on, Cassius, talk to me. Anne sent me a message, something along the lines of sting like a butterfly, float like a yeah, something like that.
No, sting like a bee, float like a butterfly.
Yeah,
Not sting like a butterfly.
In my case, the problem is once you start getting white into your palette and introducing it, it does have a tendency to can make all your other colours in the palette start going muted.
Definitely knocks it back, didn't it?
Yeah, so if there's a lesson learned this morning, that would probably be it. You know, once you start bringing the white into play, it will levitate itself into other parts of the palette. So good idea to keep it well and truly out of the way. The lady I watched from the Royal Academy do it, of course, a few weeks ago now. She was posh bird. Did the Vienna School of Doodah, painting and all this sort of stuff. And use my finger on that. The technique that she used to do portraits, she'd look at the subject, whether it's a photo or whatever, and then from sort of, I don't know, 7-8 feet away, and then walk up to the picture, to the canvas, and paint so she was having to sort of go back, keep coming back and forwards, and once she got to the picture, she was only painting the things different that she saw from the distance. So she was very subtly, very slowly picking up the painting. Very clever technique. So you only do, so you stand back and then you go up to the picture and you just do the bit or paint the bit that you spotted, or you work. You're right, I'm going to put a little bit of color here or whatever, and then come back. I thought it was very clever. Very clever. Oh, give me a home. But I haven't finished we can lift that off, and we need some. It's amazing how you can put a little bit of white on a picture and the whole thing changes. You know, it's such beautiful learning curve. Hello, somebody's just having a bed delivered. And it ain't me. Gonna have to do some extra demo workout effort on the nose at some point. I don't like using a hairdryer. Because this area
hard.
I just think it kind of spoils it. The paint doesn't. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it doesn't dry as well. It dries. I think the guy I was listening to the other day mentioned that, 36 hours, couple of days, and it's the paint. You can sort of work with it. It sort of settles itself down and works its way through. You can do something for it, but if you try and hairdryer, it doesn't have the same feel. And I'm starting, over the last few weeks doing this sort of thing to understand what he's on about. You can see where I've introduced the white there. So now I've got to hang on. Well, anyway, as long as everybody gets a bit of this is just a flesh tone that I've let this bottom bit dry so that I can add some more cleaner paint on top. It could be a good. It's the same with all paintings, isn't it? As you're doing them, you get like parts, areas or bits of the picture that look really, really good and you're really happy with, and then there's other bits you think, why did I do that? What happened there? Well, you know, something's not right. But that's part and parcel of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or part of the learning doodah.
I was doing a lot of scumbling in that sky for the Isle of Wight one. That was fun.
I've got to put my hand up and say I've got to redo mine. I've my favourite trick, isn't it, to think, well, I don't like the look of that, so I stuck it in the bath and it's now no longer with us. I'll show you before we go. I did put this. I'm just going to re-establish some darks here. I redone the sky, so I've got that bit in there, but equally there's a shadow bit in here, isn't there? Yeah. I can't make up my mind if the flat brush is better than the round one. I think maybe at this moment in time I'm sticking with well, I'm using the round one at the moment, but it seems to work better for me. I don't know why. The hair, I don't know why just saying that, I've just had because I mixed up some burnt umber, blue, giving myself a real dark. Actually, there's a little bit of neutral tint now. I don't know why. I just had the urge to use a fan brush in the hair to try and give it some sort of, because it's very tight curls, isn't it?
Yeah, you want a bit of fuzziness.
Yeah. And I think using that would do that, because I was just looking at the hair thinking where it's dried back, where it started to dry, it had gone all sort of too many tones. So I think I'm going to have to just dab a little bit of water on this brush. Not a lot, just to try and push some paint around. That's a bit better, isn't it? I don't want, I don't think he'll come back and haunt me if I put ginger in his hair, all right? You can imagine, like, 2:30 in the morning and get a tap on the shoulder. I want to work with you. Oh, dear. Well, my imagination's furtive as ever. But I won't go around too much of the edges because I'm absolutely, at some point, going to have another, I like this now. It's starting to take shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think this area here, I understand, is a bit off. I've made a mistake there. There's no doubt about it. Well, the white introduced something, same as it did down at the bottom. So I'm just going to let it go bone dry or really dry, and then I can put more colour over the top and gradually sit it back up, a bit like we would if it was an acrylic or an oil paint. But yeah, there's some great tone. I think I was a bit reticent, thinking, well, should I do it all just black and white or try and do a little hybrid of the, try and do some colour as well. And in the end, I've more or less said, cobblers, I want to do it colour. And I think it was a good move. If anything, because I've learned so much more. One thing I am going to do at some point, I won't do it now, but at some point I'm going to change my glasses to my reading glasses. They're both bifocals, bifocals the same as this, but I reckon I can see better for close-up work. You know, it's always a bit of a anxious period when you go to get your new glasses or whatever, because you think, what do you do? Oh, so I paint pictures, and then you think, so well, I used to, but after your new glasses, I might not be able to see. It might be all different. I'm not worried about going over the edge there because we can always tease it back. That looks really nice. It's amazing these. You can get. It's all about texture, isn't it? What you can get. I think. Well, I'm not think. I'm absolutely positive. One of the crucial things about painting it this way is to put color on and then move away to another part of the picture and come back as it sets itself down and dries off, and then you can reblend stuff back in, because being watercolors, as you if you try to do too much too soon, it just goes to mush. Well, I was a bit worried about his lips earlier, but now I've just didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Cassius. Definitely tones them down really well. But now I've introduced that bluey grey colour again, which is going to be a bugbear for me until I resolve that at some point. Try and get a bit more fleshy colour in. Yeah, we'll let it go. We'll let it go for now. I've really enjoyed this. I say that every week after after mucking about for a while. No, I'm getting grey yuck in my brush, and I want it to be more of a subtle. It's all right. I can lift it off a bit. More of a subtle, fleshy tone. There you go. Got your nose back, mate. Almost. Da-da-da. It's more on the brush, really. Oh, blimey. Where'd I get that tune from? Do you know what that was?
Yeah. Sounds a bit religious.
Yeah. Stand up for Jesus. Maybe I'm trying to get I need divine help, maybe.
We might, but you won't.
I'm thinking he'll be Muhammad Ali by the time I've finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just going to soften down the white bits. Yeah, I think the thing about painting them using this sort of, well, the way doing it like this is the waiting sort of, you've got to do a bit and then walk away, go to a separate, you know, introduce to the other, because it does what you call it, once the paint dries back, then you can do like I did over there with a dry brush and sort of scumble it all back again. But until that moment, I think a flat brush would be better here. Just try and re-establish this. I got Sainsbury's coming today at 5. Did you know they do they do a green delivery time or something?
That then.
I don't know if it saves money or what. I don't think so, but just the idea is they deliver it in your area. I thought that was quite nice of them. But you can see I will get it back once it's dry. You can see, look, I can put that dark colour back on there. Now that paint's dry. See,
Oh yes, that's definitely better.
it will come back. I can get rid of that grey. Hence I was saying I won't be able to do it. I'm hardly touching the surface of that because I want to just put a layer of it on and then introduce some flesh later, so it will come back to this sort of size. So just because something doesn't look or feel right at that particular moment doesn't mean it's got to stay that way. I just mix up a bit more because you can easily, once it's dried back, just put some paint back on, let it, and if you let that dry subtly, then use your dry brush. When I say dry, all I'm doing is squishing it in the water. Remember last week or the other time I had tissue in my hands. Keep going like that, and that takes most of the water off the brush, and you can just lightly, ever so subtly, tease it back in, and it will come back. But it's not dry enough yet. But once that's dried back, you will be able to, or I will, get it all back. I think that'll have to come in section 2, won't it? Well, from a white piece of white paper to this, I'm well chuffed. I don't care.
Good.
But that you have, and I say this all the time to myself, and I'll say it to you guys, just to remind you that you're doing a painting, not a photograph. So stop beating yourselves up, saying it doesn't look this, it doesn't look that. Don't just, if in street terms, put your fingers, stick 2 fingers up, and take control of the picture. Look, there's bits as I'm doing this. There's bits there that I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm not. Them girls must think I'm rubbish, but that's natural. You're bound. You're supposed to do that. That's how it's supposed to be. Because it isn't I don't know. I'm going to persevere with it. Persevere. I fancy a beer. I don't drink. Persevere with doing these portraits because I reckon we could. There's more going on doing a portrait, and there's a lot more pressure. Hell of a lot more pressure on the way you paint. I think doing this is, you learn a lot, and it is so much rewarding. So there's so much of a, I don't know what it is. It gives you there's a warm glow when you not necessarily straight away, but tomorrow morning when you look at it, or you come back in the room after a day or so and you look at it and you think, oh, I don't know about that's pretty good, Dave, or you're on the right track there, you know. That could be that looks like Cassius Clay or Mohamad Ali. You think we're on a roll. I don't want to make his skin too pink, so we'll add a little bit of raw sienna. keeping Carol awake here.
Oh, I know. I just feel tired today. Sorry.
Sun does that, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does.
Oh, I think it's the heat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the one to watch is the burnt umber and the blue, because it's creating a grey colour. So just be careful of that. And then we can stumble up, but you can see how bad that was earlier. And now with a little bit of TLC and a little bit of thought, well, what's the word? A little bit of drying, I can get get some skin toned back. But we're not worried about all these areas here because they're part of the background, that we can bring back. And
is his neck on the other side? Does it go straight down like that on the picture?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's like seeing the picture.
Yeah.
No, the other side.
This side?
Yeah.
I don't know what it does.
Yeah, you think we've gone. It looks
you
like
think
the
so?
other side has got a bit of a.
Think his face could go there, do you think?
No, it's the neck part. It's the neck. There it goes. I keep pointing at it on my phone, which isn't helping.
I think it needs to,
it's because he's got a shirt on in the picture, isn't he? And
that's right. It looks a bit cut off there on the picture. Like Pauline said, he's got a shirt on or something.
Yeah, round here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put a dark in there, but I was just what I was just saying. I was more conscious of getting this area back into some sort of colour. You can see that this one's starting to come back a bit now as well as it dries off. So clever, isn't it? Because that was a horrible grey colour a minute ago, but now it's drying back, and I can almost, within such a short time as well. Same with that nose bit. I can tidy it up just by blend. But what we're doing, what's happening is I'm pushing the paint together and teasing it. I'm actually painting using the. It's so clever. I don't care. I'm gobsmacked that it's Gordon that started it off. You do realise, if you're listening, Gord, it's all your fault. Because I think it was a Friday morning, and we were having a chat, and I picked up the brush and did something, and Gord looked at me. See how soft that went then? Just by doing that, his nose is now forming part of his face. So we know there is no join. The skin is a layer, isn't it? So there is no I'm not going to go whacking loads more paint on this now.
I love the forehead, the colours in that. It's good.
Yeah, even that's going to blend.
But
if you think about, gosh, I haven't looked at the screen yet. It doesn't look too naive. If you think about, the temples are lines coming there and there. The cheeks are lines coming there and there. So you can sort of think of them in those terms. I mean, you want to, little things like that, we can build it back up round the nostril off round here. But those are things that'll come back to life tomorrow or whatever, just by adding. I think that what I'm doing, what I did a minute ago, was added where I have some doubt, is add a bit of white. I've got it on the side of my paper here. Just add paint. What's the word? Not paint. Draw using the white. So if you think you need, I'm looking at the painting up. I'm looking at the picture upside down here. If you want to increase an area, draw it with white, let it walk away, let it dry, and then come back and soften it back in. So I'll do it there. I'm thinking there's highlights here and there's a highlight there. All that is there was some on the side of the palette. And then as it dries back, clean drop brush off, and as it dries you can just, yeah, do you get that, Terry? Just wipe your brush off. Carol, this is makeup.
Yeah, it is.
It's sort of a makeup technique, but if it goes too too wibbly, too straight, too hard, too many hard lines, just walk away, leave it, come back later when it's a bit drier, and then it'll work. You can soften it down even more. But the whole process, I'll think about it. The whole process is basically, if you take it away, was to look at our images. Okay, we do our provisional sketch, try and get the eyes, in the right sort of, what I tended to do, I've done it on here, go over it with a pencil, or you could use a felt tip pen. Oh, if you haven't got a printer, have you? But if you do that, if you use a coloured pen, I did it the other week, didn't I, with a Sharpie, and put them on, you'll get to sense where all the prominent details are, and away you go. Just needs a bit more roundedness on that. But look at the pictures and think darks, midtones and darks. Yeah, we've established his hair is blooming dark, but all these bits, look, you can see it's really dark there. I'll use this as an example. Eyebrows, obviously. There's dark there. There's under his chin. Look for the dark bits. Pick them out. Paint them. Draw them with the brush. Paint them on. And then you can mix up the skin tone, like what I did. If I find a brush. Ooh, I'm in a mess here. Mix up skin tone, which I think raw sienna or yellow, a mix of raw sienna and yellow, add some red. Look, it's already gone. There's a skin tone. If you want to make it darker, bit of burnt umber or green will do it. Green works really well. Look, see the way that went. And then you're off. Put your skin tone on. Watch out for his neck because it's not as, so I've been told, it doesn't go in a straight line.
I think it's the shirt. He hasn't got a shirt on.
Yeah, not at the moment because it's in the background. I've left the white, look, there's a little white line there. It's ready for it. But I'm on the case. Behave, Besant. I'm on that case. But beware of burnt umber and ultramarine because it seems to be giving me a grey tone rather than the actual black that I wanted. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm seeing something that's not there. But and once if you put some colour on, don't look for, what's the word? Don't look for an image, a face, an item on the face, look for a shape. So when you paint a shadow area, you're not painting Cassius clay, you're painting the shape of that eyebrow. So that's all you're doing. And when you paint this dark area here, you're just painting that shape. There, you're painting that shape. The lips, there's that wiggly dark shape there. The nose, there's that dark shape there. Is a little oval thing there, and it joins up in the middle. Like what I have done. Almost. Yeah. But over the next few hours, days, weeks, we can build that up. And where you get the, if you think of it in, hang on, if you think of it in terms of skin tone, which is what we've got here, but to give some of the light, some of the extra, make that base skin tone darker. Yeah, don't do what I was doing earlier, cocking it up, and then put your darker lines in. Yeah, the shadow lines. Don't worry about them being straight, crooked, whatever they are. Just add them in. They're darker tones of the skin tone. And then when it dries back at some point, I noticed actually his ear is there as well. Don't want to lose it, do we? So, but that's not a dark skin tone. That was a light skin tone. So it's always a good idea to have more than one skin tone. Oh, what's right and what's bloody wrong here? I can hear you say, I don't know if I'm coming or going. And yeah, but then you can add some, then if you add a little bit of white onto your skin tone, it comes back. But those two brown lines that I just put there, I've talking one eye, so I've let them sort of just ease off, then I can just smooth them in. But that's still a bit dry, but it's lifting the whole lot off, which is great, which is what I want to do at some point. You see, it's evolved on the over the course of the hour or so. But watercolors, you've got the ultimate sort of get out of jail calls by just using. Oh, sorry about that. That's not white paint. That's not white paint. Don't panic. Tissue. It's a piece of tissue. I told you. Boris's tissue is blooming rubbish. It's not as strong. I always use handy Andes, not Boris tissue. But even now it's drying off. I can lift. Just do it like that. So you can lift it off. I'm not worried about making a mess of my picture. I'm more concerned about showing you that you can be as that the confidence is that you can fix it just by look. I was doing it the other week. Remember, I was doing George. You just have the tissue in your hand, damp brush, lift it off, and straight in the tissue, and you'll get it back. Even there, just almost sometimes just one sweep of the brush, and any white bits you're not too keen on, just soften down. But if you can, don't do this with your hand. Don't do that. Do that.
Oh, one way.
No, use your arm. Use your arm.
Oh, right. Okay.
Don't. If you do that, you're painting or writing. Writing, not painting. I mean, if you do it with your arm, you'll get much more control. and you'll find this. That's really good. That now.
Mm.
If I say so myself, I think
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I'm.
you really captured him.
I think I've. Well, the whole thing about it is, Chrissy, is it these portraits, they evolve.
Mm.
They you can see why artists and people talk so passionately and emotively about a portrait, is because they do have a. This ain't a photo. A photo is rubbish compared to a portrait.
Mm.
Absolute garbage. Because you can look, I've just put that little bit of white on there, and that's changed the way his nose feels straight away. And it, but I can't emphasize enough that you could spend, well, I think I probably do, spend ages doing it this way. It is akin to painting and oil painting. There's no doubt about it. But
when you think we just try and get ours done in a week.
Yeah, we should spend longer.
Masters spend months or years, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, and they do a lot of them, and they get good at it.
Yeah.
That's what I say. There's no comparison, is there? Rolf Harris spent 2 years, 18 months doing the Queen.
Yeah.
We did ours in sort of an hour and a half morning. Do you know what? I'm loath to pick about with this too much now.
Yeah.
But I will. Once I sort out the neck bit and all the rest of it, which I can do over the next day or so. You can see the colours are there. It's just a matter of pushing them around and getting them to blend in. And at some point, like, we'll put his collar in there or whatever it is, his shirt. So I'm not worried about this bit. I can fix that quite. You know, I don't want to go away and not have nothing to do. I want to come back thinking you got some more work. Oh no, got a little dollop. Oh, Dave, that's the best bit of the picture. That's where you put your signature.
I was just going to say we have to cover it with your signature.
Well, I'm not gonna play much more with that. I don't know what time it is.
That's really good.
Yeah,
But
20 pounds.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's lovely.
I think
if we can do half as well as that, we'll be all right.
Definitely.
I'm starting to feel more and more. He does look like a young man there.
Yeah.
I think his eyes need tightening out, but then again, the background needs sorting out as well. Yeah, well done, Dave. I'm really chuffed with you for that. Oh, thanks, mate. It's all right. Talking to myself now. Everyone does. There's only 3 of us today.
Yeah, very quiet.
Yeah, I think if Gordon's listening, I think. Hang on, which camera have I got?
We've lost you now. Lost the sound.
Hang on. I got the wrong mic. I was
better.
supposed to be changing the camera, and I changed the.
Change the mic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Gordon's
good.
listening,
Good.
all those strange noises, they're not here when he's not here.
No, you're right. I forgot about that.
He's been blaming me. Your internet all right, Dave? I think something. What it is your speaker attached to the USB on the doodah and the what's it, and into the microphone. And I'm there scratching my head thinking, oh, right.
No, I think it's definitely theirs.
Yeah.
I hear a fish tank in the background. I can hear water running. You know, like a fish tank where it's the pumps going around. I can hear that in the background, and I'm thinking, Oh, that's weird. It's all right, but it makes you want to go to the loo, doesn't it?
Well, they have got a full tank, but it's nowhere near where he sits.
I think it's a combination of the microphone picking up sound from speakers. Yeah. If you got your speakers on, it's really.
It was amazing. You could hear the birds outside, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a headset on, haven't I? So.
Yeah, I just put mine on
them as well.
Yeah.
Which enhances the tone in your head.
Yeah.
I had to buy these again. These are new ones.
Oh, right.
I put the other one on and went like that to put them on my ear, and the speaker thing came off in my hand.
Oh,
it just snapped.
So did you send them back, or had you had them all?
No, they were. James gave me them a while back.
Oh, right.
Mel's birthday next month.
Oh.
What are you buying her then?
Not as far as I know, nothing.
Doing her a portrait.
It's a big it's a big 6.0 one, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, you could do a portrait of her. Look. That'd be nice.
They're having a laugh. She'll kill me.
Would she? She might not.
You make a super flattering one, you will.
Not much. No pressure then, Chris.
Oh dear.
I was talking to her earlier, and I was thinking about your birthday, because I said, I tell you what we'll do, because we're not go out big party meal people. We don't drink, don't smoke, none of that rubbish. I said, what we'll do is we'll get up early, go and have a nice cooked a nice veggie breakfast somewhere. And perhaps she said, so perhaps we'll go to Haskins, or there's a garden centre that we go to over way out past Lymington Way. And they got like a really posh restaurant, and so you can have that. And then I said we could buy a fruit tree or something to celebrate your birthday and have that out there. Things like that. Otherwise it's just trinkets and baubles that just disappear.
It's pointless, isn't it, having too much of that anyway?
Yeah, Mel was up for that. And it also gives us an hour pottering around. And I said, then we'll come back, pick James up and take him. He can go out by himself Yorkshire pudding, whatever he does for dinner.
Right, I think I better go now. Peter will be on his way in a minute.
Okay.
Well,
the carer getting him up at the moment.
Right.
I'll tell you what, looking back on that picture, I'm so bloody hell.
Yeah,
I'm so relieved. I tell you, I spent 10 minutes on the loo earlier.
And that's how we be with the first colour.
Yeah, you get that the sort of nervous poo routine, isn't it?
No, it's good.
I tell you, just looking back, if it looks good laying flat at this angle, I'm really chuffed with that.
Yeah,
really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, don't expect the same miracle.
No, but we'll do our best. We'll do our best.
If you just follow what I did, you won't go far wrong. Mixing, do a relatively as good a sketch as you can. You can use the grid. Just do like an eye ear, nose, mouth. Yeah, do that, and then go through. Just make sure where you put your pencil lines, put some burnt umber. Just to highlight them out so you don't lose them. They don't wash away. And then look for the darks. Just extend that burnt umber. What you paint you're drawing the painting first with the burnt umber or a dark brown, a browny color anyway, and then gradually build up the shade, the darks, the shadows, if you like, the light tones, the mid tones, all the tonal bits. Forget about the white till the end, and then mix up some flesh, which is red, yellowy, raw sienna, and then I wouldn't put white in at that stage. Just mix up that and then build on those shadows the fleshy bits, and you can block in the flesh as well. If you want it lighter, just add a bit of water for now. And then once you've done that, then come in with the highlights, because you would have a dark face then with all the tonal values on it. So then you can just use the white in amongst that skin tone and gradually build it up, and you'll be surprised what happens. And the white, as it dries, gives you that opportunity just to smooth it all in. It's like bloody plastering, isn't it? You know,
It's just like putting makeup on.
Yeah.
Fill in the cracks.
That's it. That's it.
I know, as we get older, they come and turn up, don't they?
Yeah, terrible. Mine are.
At least my eyebrows don't meet in the middle, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't got a monobrow.
Never trust a man whose eyebrows meet in the
In the
middle.
middle. Oh, God. Okay, then. Well, have a good week, everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
you, Carol.
Thank you.
See you
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what
Thanks
we can
very
do.
much, Jo.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
a lot.
lovely. Yeah.
Okay then.
Bye
Bye.
for now.
Bye,
Yeah,
everybody.
bye.
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 Thanks very much.
Bless you.